Okay, I have returned, and I'm talking about you having blessings from God by following His Word, keeping the commandments of God. There's no other way to live, because all the other paths lead to death. There's only one way that leads to life, and that's following Jesus, obeying the commandments of God. That's why I'm reading this stuff tonight. And I'm talking to myself. There I am. I'm looking right at me right there. Now watch this. Watch one of the blessings I have from God. V8 juice. Absolutely delicious. From the garden. Oh, that's delicious. Let's continue reading in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 5. We're proving to ourselves by the word of God that there's truth that comes out of this book. And he explains what's going to happen. Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master, and honorable, because by him the Lord had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper. This guy was a warrior, a tough guy. You know what leprosy is? That's a terrible disease. There's a lot of people in the earth that have leprosy. This man had it. And he's using this guy and Elisha and Elisha's servant to prove to us the importance of obeying God's commandments and showing us the proper fear of the Lord, the fear of God. And the Syrians had gone out by companies and had brought away captive out of the land of Israel a little maid, and she waited on Naaman's wife. She was a slave, a captured slave. And she said unto her mistress, Would God my Lord were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would recover him of his leprosy. In other words, she's saying, she's talking about the prophet. She knew of Elisha, and she's saying, this guy can heal your husband of leprosy. And one went in and told his lord, saying, Thus and thus said the maid that is of the land of Israel. Those are the chosen people of God. Not America, although America has been blessed by God. America has thrown it back into God's face. The Israelites, over and over and over, did the same thing. But God said they will not perish, and He keeps His word. And the king of Syria said, Go. Nuts. And the king of Syria said, Go, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver, and 6,000 pieces of gold, and 10 changes of raiment. And he brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, Now when this letter is come unto thee, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman, my servant, to thee, that thou mayest recover him of his leprosy. Now this king is sending the leprous guy to the other king, thinking that the other king is the one that's going to heal him of his leprosy. And it came to pass, when the king of Israel had read the letter, that he rent his clothes and said, Am I God to kill and to make alive, that this man doth send unto me to recover a man of his leprosy? Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeketh a quarrel against me. In other words, this king says, I can't do this. This guy's trying to provoke me with something here. He doesn't understand what's going on. I do, because I read the book, and now you're going to understand what's going on. And it was so, when Elisha, the man of God, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, Wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. That's one thing this guy's going to find out. There is a prophet. Now, a prophet of what? The true and living and only God. So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. Very simple order or strong suggestion from Elisha given by his servant. But Naaman was wroth and went away and said, Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. In other words, he didn't follow the commandment. If he had followed the commandment that was given to him by the prophet, which was from God, he would have been healed. When God gives you a commandment, and they're written in this book, do them, and you receive blessings, good stuff. But you got to mean it. You got to mean it. And his servants came near and spake unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldest thou not have done it? How much rather then, when he saith to thee, Wash and be clean? In other words, if he told you to go kill 5,000 people and dig holes and do all that stuff, you would have done all that mighty stuff, mighty macho stuff to get clean. And here all the guy is saying, hey, go jump in that river and dunk yourself 7 times and you'll be clean. Isn't that a lot easier? Huh? And when they said that to Naaman, well, let's read and see what he says after that. Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, not some screwball priest like the Pope. He can't give you any godly commandments or any godly advice because he's of the devil. The Pope is the devil. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was cleaned. He obeyed the word of God. And he returned to the man of God, he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth but in Israel. Now therefore, I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. In other words, when Naaman went, we read earlier here that the king sent him with a whole bunch of stuff, right, to give to the other king. And the other king says, I can't do that. Anyway, Elisha did it. Now Naaman wants to reward Elisha. Did Elisha take the stuff? Let's see. But he said, Elisha, as the Lord liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. And Naaman said, Shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules' burden of earth? For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offerings nor sacrifice unto other gods, but unto the Lord. Naaman got saved. He's not going to worship any of the other false gods anymore. That's what he's saying right here. He's going to worship God. In this thing the Lord pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon, when I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, the Lord pardon thy servant in this thing. In other words, this guy's a slave also, and he's got to do this crap in the other land. And he's asking God not to hold it against him because he's commanded to do that. Otherwise, he'll just be killed. And he's asking God for forgiveness. And he said unto him, Go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. You see that? Elisha said, Don't worry about it. I'll explain everything to God. And indeed, God already knows. I'll take care of things, Naaman. You go and you continue to be a good man. Live the right way. Like you just said. But Gehazi, this is the servant of Elisha. The servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, Behold, my master hath spared Naaman the Syrian in not receiving at his hands that which he brought. But as the Lord liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him. Now it's greed entered into the heart of his servant, Gehazi. There's so much greed in America. You know, you sit around and you listen to the TV and you listen to all the stuff that's going on. All of it. It's all about money and taxes. Greed. Money, God says, is the root of all evil. And if you want to know an evil man, God says, you will know them by their fruits. Look at what happened to America when the black communist Muslim became president of the USA. Barack Hussein Obama, the guy's a Muslim. And his whole goal, and still is, the demise of the United States. The destruction of the U.S. as it stood for many years. Godly. And that supposedly wife that he had there, Michelle, I think his name is actually Michael. And he might be a transvestite. I think it's a gay guy. And those two girls they got, they were probably adopted. I don't believe that's a woman. And that those are Barack's kids. I don't believe that. It's my opinion. I think they're both gay. What do the Muslims do to gay people? They kill them. Obama's even deceiving the people in Iran. Well, he's not deceiving them. They know. They know what he is. He's full of evil. That black communist Muslim is filled with evil spirits. The devil. Let's listen to what happens to the greedy people. Listen to what happens to the servant. So Gehazi followed after Naaman. And when Naaman saw him running after him, he was running to get this stuff. He lighted down from the chariot to meet him and said, "Is all well?" And he said, "All is well. My master hath sent me." That was a lie. Just like Barack Obama, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. It was a lie. This guy's lying. My master sent me, saying, "Behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets." Another lie. "Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments." It's just one lie after another. If you like your insurance, you can keep it, huh? Another lie, huh? And all the other lies that black communist Muslim said to the Americans. He's a liar. He's full of the devil. So is Lurch. And Naaman said, "Be content. Take 2 talents. And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of garments and laid them upon two of his servants, and they bare them before him. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house, and he let the men go, and they departed. But he, the servant, went in and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, "Whence comest thou, Gehazi?" And he said, "Thy servant went no whither." Another lie. I didn't go anywhere. And he said unto him, "Went not mine heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants?" Elisha knew. "The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever, even your kids after you." And he went out from his presence a leper, as white as snow. See what you get when you lie to God? I'm going to knock this off and I'll be right